All right, hey, what's up, guys? Coach Mac, Play Fast Football. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about designing a pressure system and why I think you need to use a system of pressures and not just randomly draw pressures up to see what you may like that week. Remember to check out some of our partners, GameStrat, sideline replay company we use at Bishop Kenny High School. I've used them the last 6 years. If you're looking for highly reliable, highly affordable, make sure you check out GameStrat. A ton of people across the country have made the switch. Everybody loves it. Check out GameStrat. Dome Hats, a headwear company we use with Play Fast Football, Bishop Kenny High School. Every head coaching job that I have had in my career, from Ridgeview to Baker County to Orange Park, now at Bishop Kenny, we've always used Dome Hats as long as they've been in business. This is one of my most recent black fitted Crusader on the front, BK on the back, Dome logo on the side. All right, if you're looking for customizable, if you want people that understand the coaching business, check out Dome. Stock hats suck. Baker Sporting Goods company we use. Coaching shirts like this, our sideline gear on game night is from them. Our player spirit packs is through them. Our fan gear is through them. Our uniforms are distributed through them. You can get everything you need, players, coaches, fans, all in one spot. Make sure you check out Baker Sporting Goods. JustPlayFB, which is the software we use for our playbooks, our installs. A lot of our team meetings are done through their presentation mode on my Patreon site. I only use their software to draw on my Patreon site. If I'm ever going to speak at any clinics, I always use their drawing tools and their presentation mode, so make sure you check out Just Play, DifferenceUSA, ultimate striking machine. You get thousands of reps. Don't need a partner. It's you and the ultimate striking machine, so you don't need somebody to hold a bag. You don't need somebody else with you. They hook up right to the racks in your weight room, so it's convenient in season, off season. All right, you're able to strike. You're able to get elbows in, thumbs up. You don't have to worry about anybody getting injured. You don't have to worry about teaching somebody how to provide leverage while holding a bag. You can work on striking year-round. If you want to strike violently, you have to practice striking violently. All right, and then if you're interested, we are working on building a YouTube studio at the house so that we can do videos in one of the rooms in my house. I can do YouTube Live there, podcast there. I want to take Play Fast to another level. If I have helped you in any way, if this channel has helped you along your coaching career and you want to, give back to Play Fast Football, you can pledge at PlayFastFootball 8740. Make a pledge, any dollar amount you want, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. If you make a pledge, I will return with your pledge with a virtual clinic, okay? So I won't return your pledge, but in thanks for your pledge, I will give you any of the virtual clinics we've done: Type 3 High, Blitz Families, Split Field Clinics, Screen Clinics, the Noma Zone Clinic. Anything that I've done on my channel, I will send to you. So I appreciate some of the guys that have contributed already to the Play Fast Studio. Dan Haber, Eric Stoutman, Marco Caniglio, Dan Hancock, thank you very much. If you're interested in helping with the Play Fast Studio, if I have helped you out and you would like to say thanks, make sure you hit us up at PlayFastFootball 8740, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. All right, so when I think about pressures for me, okay, and this is something that I kind of borrowed from the school that I'm currently at. It's something that they were doing when I first got here, and I think I kind of took it and amped it up a bunch and kind of put it on steroids, so to speak, and made it into a complete system. I don't want to think about pressures as just looking at a piece of paper and drawing things up that I think I like. I don't want to look at pressures as seeing something at a clinic and going to the bar afterwards and on a bar napkin drawing up random pressures. I want my pressures to be a system. I want to be able to teach the system. I want to be able to teach the terminology. I want to be able to call them as quickly as possible. And I want our kids to understand behind certain pressures what the coverages are going to be. And I want to be able to carry a bunch of different pressures, right? So for us, we basically, most of our work is done out of these four fronts, right? So we are a tight front 3 high team. We will play 4 down over front defense, even front stuff. We will play mid front, where we'll put a 4th rusher weak in our tight stuff, and we will get into the 3-3 stack from time to time. Those are the 4 fronts that we base out of, all right? Those are the things that we are going to do the majority of our work out of. Majority of our work comes in our base defense from tight. Our second change-up is over. Another change-up for us is mint, and then kind of a nickel-dime personnel change-up for us is getting into true 3-3 stack stuff. So those are the 4 fronts that we are going to do most of our work from. So those are the 4 fronts that we're going to pressure from. Okay, so what I like to do is in each front, all right, we create families based on the fronts that we're in. all right? And we tie those families into the terminology so that our kids understand when we send certain players, that is what those are going to be named, and then anything that's in that family is going to be that coverage, right? So some of our blitzes, okay, we are 3 under 3, okay, we are 4 under 2, we are some version of man free, we are 2 under 3, right? So those are the coverages that we use behind our pressures, and every once in a while we'll play some zero stuff. All right, on base downs, those are the coverages that we like to play behind our pressures. Those are the fronts that we like to use. So what I like to do is I like to tie the two things together, and I like to come up with different pressures from each front that are going to involve the same players in that family so that we can play the same coverage behind those pressures in that family. Okay, so in our 3 under 3 deep family, all right, if we were to run our 3 under 3 deep pressures, it is always, for me, going to be the Mike and the Sam. All right, so the Mike and the Sam are the guys for us that are in our 3 under 3 deeps. So when we're tight front, all right, and one of the ones we get the most mileage out of to this day, believe it or not, is America's Path. Right, so when we're tight front, it's the Mike and the Sam, all right, and the rotation behind it is always middle safety down to be the 3 dropper. All right, the safety to the Sam is down to be 2 seam, seam curl flat. The will linebacker is seam curl flat, so if you want to say there's a skip player, however you want to do it, leave the eye in there, take the eye out, however you want to do it, seam curl flat. There's the 3 hole dropper there. The safety away from the Sam rotates to the middle of the field, and the corners play, all right, fire zone 3 deep. Okay, so for us, that 3 under 3 deep from our tight front is the Mike and the Sam. Okay, now when we go to over front, the way we do it, okay, the way we do it in over, my Mike linebacker becomes the 4th down because I don't like changing personnel. So when we go to our over front, the Mike linebacker becomes, all right, the 4th down player or the 4th hand down. Okay, so for us, when we go to over front, if we want to use the same version of pressure with the same coverage, again, it's always going to be the Mike and the Sam. Well, the Mike's got his hand on the ground as the 4th rusher, so he's already there. Now we bring the Sam off the edge with the pirate stunt. It's still the same rotation, middle safety down. The will is seam curl flat. The safety behind the Sam is seam curl flat. Safety away from the Sam rotates to the middle, and we play 3 deep. Right? So within that family, I've now got the Mike and the Sam coming with 3 under 3 deep, and I get it from the tight front. I get it from the over front. All right, for us when we play mint, it's the Mike going away from the strength. So for us when we play mint, the Mike goes away from the strength. So now if I want to bring a version of the pressure from the mid front, I just add the Sam. The Mike is already in the pressure because he's part of the 4th down. I add the Sam, and now that gives us kind of a double eagle look. Same rotation behind it. Middle safety is down. The will is seam curl flat. Safety to the Sam. Seam curl flat. Safety away from the Sam. Rotate to the middle. Corners play the 3rd. So now I've got 3 under 3 deep from tight, over, mint. Same coverage rotation, same coverage structure, same people in the blitz. So it gets repetitive for our kids, and they understand that when we categorize these pressures into a family, all right, so let's say if you were using like rock groups, and you were to categorize these into different paths, and you said, hey, this one's, all right, this one's Metallica, this one's Van Halen, this one's Judas Priest, this one's Iron Maiden, whatever your families are. Doesn't matter what your families are. They know that that family is always going to be Mike and Sam from any front we're in, and it's always going to be 3 under 3 deep behind it, right? Because again, we're trying to build a pressure system, right? We're trying to build a system of pressures that we can use week in and week out, that the kids know. We make them really easy. The way we do it, we carry about 8 into every game. So each week I break it up based on the opponent, and I say, all right, what 8 do I want to carry? All right, how many 3 under 3 deeps? How many 4 under 2 deeps? How many 2 under 3 deeps? Right? And that's how we break it up. Now, we can also get into true stack stuff. So for us, when we play the true stack, the 3 stacks in a box of that with the Sam still staying as kind of our nickel player. So now remember now, when we, in this family for us, all right, when we use this family for us, it's the Mike and the Sam blitzing, right? So I drop a path out of the stack front that I like with the Mike and the Sam blitzing, and that becomes similar to America's blitz, but it's only a 1-gap move instead of a 2-gap move, and now it's plugging the Mike off the nose and bringing the Sam off the edge. That's your 3-hole dropper, that's your skiff player, that's your skiff player, right? So the rotation for the guys that are taught 3 under 3 deep, when we use this family, it's the Sam and the Mike. We're always rotating to the Sam, the safety to the Sam, the seam curl flat, safety away is the post defender in the middle of the field. So now we've got 4 pressure pads built in, all right, with the Mike and the Sam playing 3 under 3 deep. Okay, so now we do the same thing. All right, and if we looked at 4 under 2 and we said, all right, let's get our pressures built in from 4 under 2 families. All right, so let's get our pressures built in from our 4 under 2. So now we make another family group. All right, for us, when we go 4 under 2, it's the Mike in the middle safety blitzing. So now we'll get it into tight. All right, we'll draw it up and we'll say, okay, what's the first one in the family we want to put in tight front? All right, well, for us, it's a crossfire. So it's anchor out, nose weak, end out. Mike B gap first, middle safety, A gap second, crossfire. Every time we're 4 under 2 deep, the Will's 2 seam, the Sam's 2 seam, okay, and then corners are trap, safeties are playing off the half. So every time we build a pressure in this family, that's always going to be the coverage. Those are always going to be the players doing it. Okay, so we start it in tight front, and we get to the Mike in the middle safety blitzing out of tight front. The next thing we do from there, all right, is we put it in over front. We say, okay, let's get into over front. So now for us, again, when we play over front, it's the Mike down. So the good thing in our pressures, once I put the Mike down, he's already part of the pressure, so it's easy to build in. Now these just become single fires. All right, so now if we want to do it out of the over front, all right, we tag the 3 technique, middle safety in the B gap. The Mike's already there, so he's a 4th rusher. All right, 2 seam, trap, trap, half, half. We've already got it built in. We've got the coverage structure built in. We don't have to teach anybody on the back end to do anything different. They know inside of that family, every time they get that pressure, they know what the coverage is going to be, and they know it's going to be the same guys doing it. Right? So we have a bunch of teams that we play early in the year, in the spring, and other times, and, you know, when you have success, sometimes they bitch at you and you go, well, you know, it's a spring game and you're running 85 blitzes. Well, no, we don't. We don't run 85 blitzes. We run a few blitzes, and the reason we carry more of them in the spring is because we have a system that lets us carry. I don't have to teach 90 guys to rotate 90 different ways. We teach one system of coverage with the same players doing it, and now we do it from multiple fronts. So to other people, it looks exotic. It looks like you're doing a bunch of stuff, but for your kids, you're really not doing that much stuff. Right? So it's the illusion of being extremely multiple, but for your kids, it's kind of simple. Right? So we do it when we got into mid-front. So we put the Mike's the 4th rusher away, right? So when we got into mid-front, and we try to do it out of mid-front, now all I got to do is figure out the pattern I want for where I want the middle safety to come from. Because we know in this family, it's going to be middle safety coming, right? So the middle safety is going to be the extra rusher. So now I look at the other pass and say, okay, well, if I've got that, all right, what do I want to do here? What do I want to get? Weak side pressures. Do I want to get strong side pressures? I've already plugged the middle safety. All right, I brought him in the B gap once. I brought him in the A gap. I've crossfired him. What do I want to do? If I want to bring him off the edge, now I can also create a bear look the same way I did with the Mike and the Sam, and now we can play bear with 4 under 2 deep. So now we can create bear looks if we want to, and we can play 3 under 3 deep, 4 under 2 deep. All right, if I wanted to plug him, I could bring the end out, and I could bring the middle safety in the B gap. So whatever pass that I want, that I like, I know it's the Mike in the middle safety, and my kids know every time we do it in this family, that's going to be the 2 seam guy, that's going to be trap, that's going to be trap, safety's going to play the half. Right, so that's how you have the ability to be multiple and carry more things. You just build it into a simple system. So your pressures, to me, should be a system of how you pressure. Right? They shouldn't be random things that say, hey, this week we're going to go boundary corner. We're going to send corner dogs. Then you got to teach it to the kids. You got to teach them who's rotating where, what the coverages are. Most teams are going to do blitz circuits to say, hey, look, we carry a lot of hot pressures. We got to drop some D linemen, so everybody's got to rotate and learn how to be a skiff player, a 3-hole dropper, and eyes, vision, and break player. So you do blitz circuits, right? That's good football. I agree that that's good football. Well, we don't have to do blitz circuits as much because our guys that are in coverage are doing the same jobs in the coverage most of the time, and we try and keep that consistent. So now in the stack front, all right, we get into the stack front, and now we decide that we want to go 4 under 2 deep from the stack front. Well, I know those are the 2 blitzers. Now all I got to figure out is how I want to do it. I've already got America's path, right? So could we repeat America's path with the long stick, Mike, and middle safety? Play 4 under 2 deep? We could. All right, could we repeat a crossfire like we've already ran? Could we repeat a crossfire and maybe bring the middle safety first and the Mike second? We could, whatever path we want. We know that those 2 are going to be the blitzers, all right, and we know that it's going to be 2 seam. We know that it's going to be 2 seam. We know that it's going to be half, and we know that it's going to be trap. So behind it, all right, the 6 players in coverage behind it, they know what they're playing. It's always them in the 4 under 2 deep. It never changes when we play 4 under 2 deep, right? So now we've got 8 pressures built in. We've got 4 3 under 3 deeps and 4 4 under 2 deeps, right? And we've only got 2 coverage structures with the same players. Same 4 under 2 deep guys always do it. The same 3 under 3 deep guys always do it. The only adjustment for us is both safeties in 3 under 3 deep have to learn how to be seam curl flat and post players because we don't know where the Sam is going to be. All right, and I play with left and right safety. I don't travel my safeties. Okay? So, when I want to use, all right, hot coverage, when I want to use eyes coverage, vision and break coverage, all right, for me, what I do is I use the Mike, the Will, and the middle safety as my pressure guys. All right, so anytime we are playing a 6-man, eyes, vision and break, hot coverage, whatever you want to call it, for us, anytime we are doing that, the blitzers are always going to be the Will, the Mike, and the middle safety. The Sam will always be one of the hot players. The safety away from the Sam is the other hot player. The safety to the Sam is the middle of the field post defender. Right, so we have one family of blitzes where we rotate to the Sam, one family of blitzes where we rotate away. So when I teach these blitzes to the kids, over and over again, I'm asking the same question in installs all the time. Okay, rock and roll blitzes, guys, where do we go? Coach, we rotate to the Sam. Right? Hey, weather blitzes, when we're using weather patterns, where do we go? Coach, we go away from the Sam. So if these were weather patterns and they were storm, lightning, rain, thunder, the kids know any weather pattern, we're going to rotate away from the Sam because the pressure system is built that way. Right? We're not drawing pressures up each week to say flavor of the week. All right? I saw this on Saturday. I saw Clemson use it. I saw Iowa State use it. That's not what we're doing. We're building a system of pressures, paths, and coverages. All right? And now we're creating a way to be extremely multiple. So for us, one of our best ones this year from our tight front was a look where we mugged the Will and the Mike. Okay? And then we took everybody one gap, all right, strong on the interior. So we took the 4 eyes out. We went one gap strong with the mug players, and we brought the middle safety into weak side B gap. All right, that was a vision and break hot player. The safety away from him was a vision and break hot player. The safety to him was the middle hole post player. All right, so that was one of our best ones out of tight front. Now, we did it a couple different ways from the over front. And I didn't really like any of them from this front. Don't ask me why. All right, they weren't very good to us. But again, the theory, if you follow the theory of the blitz family, if I'm going to send 6 and use a hot vision and break pressure, it's going to be the Will, the Mike, and the middle safety. Well, the Mike is the 4th down in our over front. Right, so now if we wanted to go all right, with a path like that where we blood the front and we bring the Will and the middle safety into the new open gap. So we blood the 1 and the 3, all right, weak side towards the 1 technique. So the nose goes, or the 2 eye goes B gap, the 3 technique goes A gap, and then we plug the Will and the middle safety. That's your hot guy. Safety away from the Sam is your hot guy. The safety to the Sam rotates to the middle. So now we've got a 6-man pressure built in over front with 2 under 3 deep. All right? a lot of erasing, a lot of drawing, but we carry a ton of pressures. One, we have to. Two, we think it's easy for us to do because of the way we do it. Right? So I would argue with anybody that we don't carry a ton of stuff. It just looks like we carry a ton of stuff. All right? Then we get into mid front. This was the best one for us all year, and I stole this from Kirby Smart. All right? Not that I talked to Kirby Smart, not that we're buddies or friends. All right? But I stole this from them because they said it was a cheap and easy way to get tackles for losses. We present this look, so I took it from them, and it was one of our best ones. So mid front, Mike's off the edge already, so I don't have to add him into pressure. He's already down. We worked the nose, we worked the will, we brought the middle safety up and brought him off the edge. Hot, safety away from the Sam hot, safety to the third there. All right, so again, Will, Mike, middle safety, same blitzers in the weather patterns. They're all six-man pressures. They're all vision and break, eyes, hot coverage. All we have to do is teach our guys how to rotate. Sam is always hot, so we're rotating away from the Sam. Safety away is hot. Safety to the Sam is the middle. All right, third player. Let's get a clean drawing up here. All right, so if we wanted to do it from the stack front, you just follow the theory, you follow the system, right? So in our stack front, the way we play it, the stack backers are the Will, the Mike, and the middle safety so that we leave the Sam in a nickel position. All right, we get into a 2 high look, not a 3 high look, we leave the Sam in a nickel position. So now you know when we're using these six-man pressures, right, you know who the 3 blitzers are. Well, for us, it's the 3 guys in the stack. So now if we wanted to create some type of weak side crossfire, bring the middle safety off the edge, however you want to do it, now you've got another 6-man path. You know that the Sam's going to be hot. You know that the safety away is going to be hot. You know that the safety 2 is going to the middle third. So now we've got 12 blitzes built in. All right, 3 under 3 deep. All right, from those 4 fronts. 4 under 2 deep from those 4 fronts. 2 under 3 deep from those 4 fronts. So now we got 12 blitzes built in. All right, now, the good thing about it is, and we don't run them all every week. All right, like I said, we carry about 8 a game. Why? Because we need to. We are small up front. We have a hard time defending run game. We have a hard time defending bigger personnel groups. We have to move. We have to be different. We have to create pressure. This is how we do it. All right? So the system allows us to be multiple yet simple because behind it, we know that when we break our coverages down, if we got to work on our 6-man vision and break pressures, I know it's always going to be the Sam and my 2 safeties working on the hot technique. My corners are working on their technique. When we're 4 under 2 deep, it's always the Sam and the Will as 2 seam players. It's always the corners trapped. It's always the safety off the half. So what do we lose? We lose the ability to get the exotic, maybe some of the simulated looks or the non-traditional Tampa 2s or all the other stuff that you want to talk about. So we don't take a drop outside linebacker to the flat with a corner on the half. We lose the ability to be, kind of exotic from the looks. But we gain the ability to be extremely multiple, yet simple, because the back end of the coverage plays out the same for the kids every time once the pressure's done. Now, for us, when we go man-free, all right, so when we go man-free, in our man-free world, in that family, it's always going to be the Mike and the Will. All right, so the man-free world for us is always going to be Mike and Will pressures. Now, 2 different ways we ran these this year. First way we ran them is we ran man coverage, all right, with 2 underneath hole droppers that were guys that were accountable for the running back, guys that are accountable for the back out. All right, so it's kind of like a peel structure, but you're not peeling the blitzers. So it's always going to be the Mike and the Will. So the first one we had was, again, internal crossfire, Will and the Mike. Corner had number 1, safety had number 2 or number 3. This safety has number 2 or number 3. Corner's got number 1. Middle safety rotates opposite to Sam. Those 2 guys become our eyes or our hot players, and they are responsible for the running back. All right, so it was a different version of man-free for us. All right, I had a call built in for our kids. Anytime that I tagged the call, I could make the Sam play the back, and I could make the middle safety the post player. So we had 2 different ways that we could cover behind these 5-man deals. But these man-free deals were always going to be the Will and the Mike. So now when we built them in, So if you're following the system, when I go 4 down, the mic is one of the down guys. All right, so when we go 4 down, the mic is one of the down players. So as soon as we go to our over front, we slide the end in, we put the mic down, slide the nose over, slide the anchor over. Okay? So now when we're 4 down and the mic is already involved, now when we are using our man-free pressures, all I got to do is add the will. So this one for us got a ton of mileage, just the will off the weak side with the 5 technique, anchor in a B-gap stunt. Okay? Man on 1, man on 2 or 3, man on 2 or 3, man on 1, middle safety spin opposite the Sam, and you guys become the guys that are responsible for the running back. Okay, so again, back end knows the coverage. They know that these deals, all right, maybe it's amusement parks that you're using, or maybe it's Marvel characters or superheroes. They know that it's those deals. They know that it is those coverages behind those pressures. Okay, so anytime we do that, all we've got to do is build it into each front because the coverage is going to stay the same. We went from mid front this year, all right, and I'm not going to keep repeating the coverage. You know the deal. So for us, the mid front looks like this. All right, Sam's over there, the middle safety somewhere there. So when we went mint, we brought America's path out of mint. Middle safety rotated away from the Sam. Those are the 2 hot players. That's the path out of mid front. So that gives you another man-free pressure. Out of the stack front, one of the ways we did it was bringing them both off the same edge. So one of the ways we did it out of the stack front was we went into the stack front. We put the will and the mic on the same side, brought them both off the edge. Middle safety rotates away from the Sam to be the 2 hot players. And now we went with 2 off the edge. The mic becomes the tooth or tail player. He now knows if he sees a face or teeth, he's going to cross it. If he sees a tail, he's going to chase it. The will is the guy that is now becoming the surf player. He's the quarterback player on zone read. He's got the outside contained part. Right? So now we've got man-free blitzes built into the stack front. Okay, so I've talked about this on different videos before, so a lot of you, I did a virtual clinic on this, so a lot of you are going to look at this and say, Coach, I've seen you talk about that before, and I have talked about it before, but what I'm trying to tell you today is this is a complete system of pressuring. Okay, now when you get into game planning, we can take this same system, all right, and we can set it up so that we blitz the back. Okay? We can choice it to blitz the formation. All right? Because we have built a complete system of how we pressure. We have built a complete system of who the pressurers are in each family, what the coverage is behind them. All right? And we have now built a complete system to where we can play 3 under 3, 4 under 2, 2 under 3, man free, 0. We've built a complete system and a complete communication tool to where we can play all of those coverage structures behind our pressures, all right? And we've done it in a manner to where we look extremely multiple, but in theory, it's actually kind of simple for our kids, right? So when we play teams in the spring or when we play teams in a fall classic and they say, hey, how much are you going to pressure? And, well, I've got 4 or 5 pressures in. Well, how do you have 4 or 5 pressures in a spring game? Well, because of the way we do it, it's kind of simple. So the pass look different to you, but the coverages are the same for our kids. It's the same 2 guys blitzing. When we play 4 down, we use the mic. So any blitz that has the mic and the Sam in it, I already have built in to when I go 4 down. From tight front to 4 down, they're already kind of in. They just become single fire plugs with the Sam. Right? So everything that you do within your system, if you build it the right way, you can now be extremely multiple, but really simple for your kids. So it looks multiple to other people. It looks like we're coming from all over the place from 9 different fronts, but we're really not. Right? We've never carried, this year in most of our games, we played 2 fronts. All right, 2 fronts. And then we pressured from a 3rd or a 4th front. We played no traditional 3-3 stack fronts this year. We pressured from the 3-3 stack. All right, we played mid front less than 15% of the time. We pressured from it a bunch. We played tight front and over front 85% of the time this year on defense. But yet sometimes you'll have people that'll come up to you and go, Coach, you play so many different fronts with so many different pressures. Well, I'm glad it looks like that to you on your end, because on our end, we're really not doing that. We're nowhere near as exotic as people kind of make us out to be. Now, you know, for us, it still comes down to the same thing. We carry all these pressures because we have to. If I could sit in base defense and fit runs and get pressure on the quarterback, I would almost never pressure until I had to, or my pressures would all be third down, exotic sims, creepers, and things to get off the field. Who doesn't want to play base defense, right? Every good football coach wants to play base defense. I don't want to have to pressure all the time, but you have to survive every week to try and win games. You've got to survive with the roster that you have. How do we do that? Well, this is how we do it. We've got to be a little bit more creative with our system. We've got to be a little bit more creative with how we build our system in. So this gives us the leeway to get in 16 or 20 pressures that most people would say, oh, you can't carry that many pressures. Well, they're really only 3 or 4 coverages with the same guys doing the coverage. We're not teaching multiple guys, D linemen, nose guards. We're not teaching multiple players to be 3 hole droppers. We're not teaching multiple guys. The middle safety for us was the only 3 hole dropper in 3 under 3 deep all year long. The only one. So that's the only position we had to teach, to be the hole dropper on 3 under 3 deep. The will and the 2 eye safeties are the only seam curl flat players. So we never had to teach a 5 technique, a 3 technique. So it's really not as much teaching as you think once you get it kind of laid out, right? So for us, how we pressure is a complete system. It's a, you know, it's completely drawn up, thought about, terminology, communication. Everything we do is structured to make our blitz packages an entire system within our defense, right? It's not random. It's not flavor of the week. It's not drawn up on napkins. It is a system to say, hey, how do we get to these pressures? Mike into Sam, Mike in the middle safety, Mike into Will, Mike, Will, Sam, Mike, Will, middle safety. And then we put them into families, and the coverages get categorized out behind that. So if there's anything we do on defense that I would highly recommend to people, this would 100% be it. I love our 3 high stuff. I think we do a decent job in tight front. But if there was one thing that we do that I think we do as good as anybody around, it's the ability to carry multiple pressures from different presentations, different coverage standpoints behind it, because of the system that we teach. All right, if you are not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Over 25,000 now, continuing to grow, trying to build it all the time. Turn your notifications on so you know every time we do a YouTube live or a video like this comes out, you'll get the notification right away. Thumbs up, thumbs down if you like the video, don't like the video. If you've seen this virtual clinic on Blitz Families and you don't like it because you've already seen it, leave a thumbs down. If I have talked about this in Blitz Families before on a video and you say, Coach, you've already talked about that, leave a thumbs down. That's your prerogative. All right, if you like the video and you think it can help you, give it a thumbs up. As always, leave a comment. Any comment I see, I'm going to try to respond to. Interact with the people on this channel. Interact with people on YouTube Live. That's what makes this such a great forum, such a great setting, is the interactions that you have with other coaches. All right, remember, if you've been a fan of the channel and you've been watching it for the last 10 years, then you can help us try to build that in-home YouTube studio, try and take PlayFast to another level, try and get us to where we have a consistent studio where we shoot all the videos all the time, a place where we can do YouTube Lives with a whiteboard in it, a place where we can do some consulting work with a whiteboard behind it. If we have helped you along the way and you want to help us at PlayFast Football 8740, you can make a pledge for the YouTube studio. I will respond with an email to you with any virtual clinic you want, defense, offense, anything I have, you can have if you support the channel. So if I've helped you in any way, if PlayFast Football has helped you in any way and you want to return the favor, you can make a pledge. I am a teacher and a coach just like all of you. So to sit back and think that I can just build a YouTube studio, I've got 2 daughters, one of them drives now. I have all the same headaches you guys have. So if I've helped you in the past and you want to help me out, all right, feel free to do so with a pledge to PlayFast Football. I will return the favor with any virtual clinic that I have. I hope this video helps. If you guys are still playing, God bless you. Good luck. Get that state championship. If you're not playing or you got knocked out like we did this past Friday, hope the offseason goes well. I hope you are learning the things and studying the things you need to study. As always, you won't play well until you play fast. Thank you very much for what you do for me, and I will see you next time.